Hi, I'm Eric, the Security Guy. Today I'm speaking to my friend and colleague, Ahmed Masud. Ahmed is the co-founder and CEO of Saf.ai. Hey, Ahmed, welcome to the show.
Hi, Eric. Happy to be here. Thank
Yeah.
you for having me.
So tell me how Saf.ai came about.
Well, Saf.ai came about in 2017 because I was so my background is in cybersecurity, and I've been building cybersecurity technology since we've known each other since late, I think since year 2000, I believe. And Saf.ai came about because I wanted to address the ransomware problem. And I did not find any solution that's out there that directly addressed data security from a data perspective. And so that was the foundation of Saf.ai. As a matter of fact, SAF stands for self-aware files. Uh, you know, and I think I've mentioned it to you before that my marketing folks completely rejected self-aware data because that's what it really is. But sad.ai is not good. Uh, you know, However, the situation is that cybersecurity was sad up until that time. It continues to be when it comes to ransomware.
So,
And go ahead.
so I've tried your and saw an earlier version of your flagship product, Resiliate. What exactly does Resiliate do?
Okay, so Resiliate, one way to think about Resiliate is you can think of Resiliate as data as an AI. Okay. Its core technology is this new type of neural net that I invented called the cybernetic engram. And cybernetic engram fuses data uh, with its own AI. And the idea is to make data be self-securing and resilient. The fusion of AI and data occurs in the sense that um, you want the functions that do the protection of the data and the data to be one single entity. And the primary reason behind wanting that, and this is something you know as a cybersecurity expert, is that every cyber attack that we see is essentially a bypass, right? Do we agree on that, right? That
For the most part, yeah.
what cyber I don't think that you can classify any cyber attack that isn't a bypass.
Bypassing some sort of control or some sort
Some
of
type
restriction.
of control, either you
Yeah.
turn it off or it's completely ignored or someone from inside provided the privilege, let's say through a phishing link attack, right? Essentially, they end up bypassing the security control part because it is separate from the data. And the idea is you should not separate security from the data, and it should be unified in such a way that you cannot separate the two.
Right.
And that it should be the security control should be the final thing. So that design ensures that any operation that happens on the data can only be performed through the security check, and the neural net ensures that it can only be done by triggering the appropriate requests to the neural net. So hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah. So how is this, at the risk of asking an obvious question, how is this different than what exists, what else exists today in the market?
There are two things, right? So there are, the normal cybersecurity tools, and it's different in that it's not sitting on the sideline. It's not network-centric security. It's not computer-centric security. It's not even user-centric security. It's specifically data-centric security. And one of the requirements of data-centric security is that data needs to be self-defining and self-defending. And Resiliate makes your regular files, like your Word file, your text file, your config files, any type of data file, unstructured information or structured information, self-healing, self-aware, and self-defending. So that's part one. That's very new. The second thing is, uh, if we look at the class of cybersecurity products that are AI centric, everybody is looking for bad actors, right? Bad behavior. But um, that doesn't work because the space of bad behaviors is so big that you cannot have a good enough sample size to train your machine learning algorithms. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you really have to go into the area of anomaly detection
Anomaly
to
detection.
useful and deal with all the false positives that creates.
Right. But here with Resiliate, the AI or the neural nets are only training themselves against the data itself, right? So, so in that way, what ends up happening is that you've got, let's say, you've got some type of the neural net essentially ends up having an internal picture of the data itself, right? So, for example, a text file could be a doc file or a PDF, or but so the neural net fundamentally knows, not just through signatures, but it fundamentally knows that it's not a JPEG, or it's not a JSON, or it's not a it's not a CAD file or some sort. And that contextual information is used in conjunction with what the file is claiming to be, to figure out, is there too much entropy in what the file is claiming to be and what the file ends up being after someone tries to update its content. And that's completely data dependent. You are not looking for an external anomaly there.
So when some ransomware comes along and encrypts a Word file, it no longer looks like a Word file, and
that's a problem. And it says, well, wait a second, after this update, I will no longer be a Word file. This operation is no good, right? So and then it can make a decision on, is it going to be quarantined? Is it going to reverse that operation? What is it going to do?
So tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get to this point of developing this software?
I think that a part of it is I've been kind of walk to the beat of my own drum kind of a kid since the very beginning. I have I did not know this. It was undiagnosed. I have severe ADHD, and that meant that I was qualified as a kid when I was very young, as a kid with lots of potential, but not ever going to be able to do things because I procrastinated. and
it wasn't diagnosed then.
It was not diagnosed. It was this. I mean, this is early, late 70s. The point is that it was. I like to think out of the box, and this, at the end of the day, building cybersecurity technology products for 20 years, and then coming across ransomware and data theft and insider threat. You know what that world is. It was basically either we are on the defensive side of cybersecurity, either we are not, we don't know how to answer the question, and we have bad answers. But that's not true. We have really good solutions, but we have really good solutions to the wrong problems. The problem is not protecting the network. The problem is not protecting your computer. The problem is not training your users. The problem is data is not participating in its own security. And that was the missing link. That's the missing gap. So when you go back to first principles and you think outside the box, you're like, well, maybe we can get our text file to defend itself, right? So that was the leap.
So what's your background, and how did that kind of shape the direction of this?
My background is quite eclectic. I'm a failed chemical engineer. I was supposed to be finishing my chem eng, and I didn't because I got into number theory, and in my university, learned programming when we moved from Pakistan to Montreal back in 1987 because I was introduced to it by some very kind people in a CEGEP that I attended. And then I have a love of mathematics, and I like bringing to bear the understanding that I have of mathematics and artificial intelligence and cybersecurity, and then trying to solve the problem not directly, but attacking it from a new perspective, from a new point of view. And I think that having that diverse background, having built large systems, having built knowing the guts of how machines work. I'm an old guard of assembly language and Pascal and C and Unix and all of that, right? So I think that deep understanding and the fundamental sort of feeling for how systems work, and then being able to say, we are not doing the right thing, and it's not that we're not very smart, but really attacking it from both a scientific and an engineering perspective.
And what's next for you and Safe.ai?
Well, one of the challenges when you make something different like this is really it's a brand new idea. It's like I don't think anybody's done it quite like this. And the challenge that we face is introducing this to the market as a new concept and a new approach. So that's part of the conversation that I'm having with industry leaders and with experts like yourself on this topic of, we can do it differently. We can do it in a way that is affordable by small and medium-sized businesses, not only in terms of price, but also in terms of the technical debt that you have to build up. And so that's one part. So going through that, and the second is just bringing it, just growing Saf.ai. It's we're a systems level startup, which is different from an app level startup. So there's part of this, we had to go through this R&D process from 2017 up until mid of this year, even though we did release the first version of this product at the beginning of this year. We released it at the beginning of this year, and then ended up adding more to it. So now we're able to drive more information out, which will not only address ransomware but also data theft. So we can talk on that when I have more to share on how we prevent someone from stealing data from inside your organization or dumping it.
I'm certainly looking forward to that conversation when you're ready to have it. Ahmed, thanks so much for your time today. Great talking to you as always, and best wishes for you and the company. We'll be watching to see what you come up with next.
Oh, looking forward to our continued conversations, Eric. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and happy to come and have a conversation whenever you like.
Thanks. Well, I'll definitely take you up on that offer.
Take care and have a wonderful time. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.